What's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for The Chi Season 4, Episode 1. I said that I wasn't going to review this show any longer because I wasn't really happy with last season. However, I've decided to give it a fresh new look and see what old Lena got for us this season. They've definitely made some changes, but we'll get to all of that in the review. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, so it's interesting the way they shot this episode. It feels like they've got a new, what do they call them? Cinematographer, a new director. The way that everything is shot is just very cinematic. So I actually was pleased with the way the show opened anyway. It looked like it was a flash forward of things that are happening. We see Kev kind of wandering through a dark space, maybe at a hotel, maybe in an apartment building. Can't really tell where he is, but he's looking around. And then he walks in on Jake and his girl Gemma kissing. We knew that was coming, right? Then we also see a scene where Keisha looks like she is giving birth. Okay, 9 months, you guys. We already at the time. And she's having a water birth with her mother and Dre right there to help her through it. We see Duda. We don't really know what he's doing exactly, but he gets shot. And then we see some people dancing. So it's like a lot of things that's happening. Not sure if all of this is happening at the same time. You know, it's just sort of like flash forwards, okay? Then we rewind it on back a month. So we're about to get the build up to how we got to this point. Now, a lot has happened in these, 7-8 months. It seems that Kev is fully active, sexually active with Gemma. Now, we know that they had, tried it in the last season, but yeah, he spent the night at her house, okay, fell asleep. The next morning when his phone is ringing, he's like, oh my God, I gotta get up, I gotta get out of here. Her father wasn't home apparently. And so she snuck Kev in and he spent the night, all right? So yeah, he's gotta get dressed real fast or, just cover himself up, get outside and then continue getting dressed. I'm thinking that he's going home, but no, he's not going home. He's actually going to act like he's picking Gemma up for school so that they can, I guess, walk to school or whatever. And of course, daddy being daddy of a young teenage girl, he got cameras around his home and he's checking and seeing that Kevin is sneaking out the house. He was like, ain't this about a bitch? This little nigga's, out my house, really? They think they slick, but you got to get up early in the morning to pull one over on daddy. So Kev, he gets dressed for school and then he goes to the front door and, the dad is just like, oh, okay, come on in. I was like, you wasn't even going to go home, Kevin? And speaking of home, we see his mom, we see Keisha, we see Dre. Okay, Keisha is fully, like I said, 8 months, okay? And Mama's trying to figure out where is Kev. Well, nobody seems to know. I'm thinking like, why is it that, how old is Kevin? Why does it seem like Kevin is almost caught up with his sister? She's in high school still, right? She's a senior. And Kevin seemed like if he's spending the night out and all this, what really? So anyway, they don't know where Kev is. Nobody seems to be really all that concerned. Keisha says, well, maybe he spent the night at Gemma's. And she was like, well, he didn't ask any permission to do that. I was like, we getting permission to spend the night out when we only in the 10th grade, 9th, 10th grade? Really? Keisha said, he think he grown. All right, do you want me to text him? Yes, please. It was also interesting that, I feel like as the mom, knowing what happened with Keisha, you would probably be a little bit more nervous about the fact that your son didn't come home. But child, listen, Kev done spent the night out fucking. Anyways, you guys, back at the at Gemma's house. So, her father's asking Kev if he's been watching the news, and he says no, he just gets his news from the shade room. Okay, shameless plug. Well, the dad is telling them what done happened. Some kids done burned down something in the city, and all of this. And Gemma's like, why are you even telling them that? Like, he has nothing to do with that. But the father just wants to have a conversation with the kids about what's going on in the community and whatnots, okay? And then somehow we tumble right into a whole conversation. You guys know Gemma is very intense, right? She's all, Ngawa, Black Power. And so when she's talking to her dad, we get into a conversation about capitalism and how police are the problem and all this, deep conversations for someone her age. But Gemma, like I said, is intense. So no, Gemma hasn't changed, except for the fact that her and Kevin are now sexually active. We jump over to Smokies, and things is looking good for Emmett. Okay, adopted old boy's dream, and now he done took over Smokies. He's got full employees there, including Papa, who works for him. Okay, so I was just like, oh, look at Emmett. Went from selling tennis shoes to having a full-blown restaurant. Swindled it right out from under the old man. He's still with Tiffany. You know, they're married. Remember, they got married at the end of last season. So they're still together, happily so. He looks like he's still on track to do the right thing for his wife, you know, so good for them. I don't know how we're going to deal with this what's Lala's name on it? Dominique situation, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Speaking of Dominique is in the back cooking. And, you know, Tiffany comes in there and she was just like, girl, she needs some help because edibles is all the rage now. People want edibles and she needs to know how to cook it, you know. And Lala was like, and Dominique was like, girl, I can't be doing no edibles. That ain't my bag. Okay, but she do have a homeboy that know how to do it. You know, maybe she can get him to show her how to do it and she can show Tiffany and help her out that way. Okay, that's the best she can do. Okay, now get this. Actually, it's a pretty funny hookup. I was like, okay, I might be here for this relationship. So Darnell, you know, Emmett's Bluetooth wearing daddy. It seems that Darnell and Dominique are an item now. Darnell act like he in love with Dominique. That's his future baby mama. That's his wifey. And of course, Emmett is just like, oh my God, like, please don't call her that. Please don't be in here with all of that, you know. Emmett looks like he has an issue with Dominique and his father seeing each other, and probably because he fucked Dominique, and we all know that. When Dominique comes out, you know, he's like, there go my sugar pie. You know, she's just like, you know, gives him a hug and a kiss, and he needs a to-go plate. And, you know, she was like, I'll go fix that. And he was just like, hurry up. You know, hits her on the butt. She's like, boy, don't rush me. He was like, that's right, because you like everything nice and slow. And Emmett is over there gagging. That shit is funny to me. But Darnell, you know, Darnell love him some women. Okay, this is going to be his fourth wife. Now let's jump over to Trigg. We see our boy Trigg and his girlfriend Imani. They are still together, and it looks like they're one big happy family. It looks like Jake is staying with them, so you know they got what they wanted. They look like they're in some sort of beauty salon, you know, nothing fancy, but still looks like it's something for Imani. She's cutting Trigg's hair and whatnot, you know, and they just chopping it up as a family. And then here comes old doom and gloom Doodah. All right, when he come in, the music change and everything, you know, and Doodah is just there to strictly stress everybody the fuck out, let everybody know that you don't work with me, you work for me. It looks like he's even helped Imani get this beauty salon, which means that she is going to owe him in some kind of way. And for whatever reason, I don't think Doodah is the person that you want to owe. So Imani still feels uncomfortable, but I mean, she's going with the flow. Trigg is working for Doodah, okay? And so what can she do? She's trying to be there for her man, okay? Doodah gonna help take, you know, he's still helping taking care of Jake, at least for appearances, you guys know, because he's got to keep that positive mayor side, you know, all that still has to work together. So, go and get in the car, boy, I'm gonna take you to school. Now back at Smokies, Dominique and Darnell is in the back smooching and whatever, and then it's time to get serious. She was like, I gotta tell you something. And he was like, oh God, like, what is it? Okay, and she said, yeah, me and Emmett, we fucked, okay? I fucked him. And I was just like, girl, you couldn't say it softer than that. I mean, I know we Chicago girls and everything, but I mean, just so blatant. It don't look like Darnell cared, though. He was like, it was bound to happen. Because Darnell knows that Emmett is just a chip off the old block, right? So he was just like, he don't really care about it, you know? And Dominique was like, you don't care? And he was like, no, you know, you with Zaddy now. So He can't even worry about that. But then he was like, I'll be right back. I was just like, look, he is about to really give Emmett the blues. So he goes out there, you know, Emmett is working, and he was like, you got your damn nerves, you know. You gonna go and marry that girl and have her all around this woman, Dominique, knowing that you fucked her back in the day. And Emmett was just like sick, like, oh my gosh, she was not supposed to tell you. He was like, yeah, well, she did tell me. And he was like, well, don't tell Tiffany. I was just like, well, that is something that we know Darnell is not going to be able to do. He was about to give damn Emmett the blues, child. So yeah, Emmett is upset about that. We see his mom. She's still around as well. She still has an attitude about the fact that Emmett and Dominique messed around too. Everybody knows but Tiffany, which is the worst feeling when you around everybody and they all know something happened and ain't nobody told you shit. So that's gonna blow up for sure. But we'll see it go on as the season continues. Now we see Keisha. She's with Tiffany. They become fast friends since, you know, they were able to find some things in common. She's picking out some clothes. At first I thought she was picking it out for a prom or something, because I'm not still clear if she's in school or not. But she's super pregnant. So she's picking out clothes, and Tiffany was like, girl, you look like you trying to act like you're not pregnant, like you in denial. And she was just like, well, maybe I am. So Keisha's still working through the fact that she is carrying her rapist baby. Jumping back over to Kevin and Jake are walking with Gemma. And, you know, like I said, Gemma is just, I don't be wanting to say annoying, but, you know, Gemma is annoying sometimes. It's just she never lets up. It's like, girl, you are 15 years old. Like, you know, loosen up a little bit. You gotta, you know, anyway. Even Kevin realizes that his girlfriend can be too much sometimes. You know, he's like, why are you always mad? You always wanting to fight. And she was like, I just want to be with somebody that I can have a debate with. And he was like, why would I want to debate you? I love you. And Jake is looking over his shoulder while, you know, while they're talking. He's like, oh my God, like, really? Well, she was just like, that is so sweet. That's the first time you ever said that to me. And he was just like, yeah, I mean, that Kevin just wide open, child. Nose just wide open. Your boy about to steal your girl. You better keep your good eye on Jake. Anyway, Jake and Kevin, they go and get on the train. You know, they got to go back to their neighborhood, basically. And Jake is just like, oh, so you really do love old girl? And he was just like, yeah, like that's his boo, you know? And Jake is kind of teasing him. You're like, I guess so. You all going to lunch with her daddy and everything. And Kevin was like, you'll understand when it's time for you to get your woman and everything. I said, don't get your woman. But anyway, Jake is putting his hoodie over his uniform because he don't want the neighborhood to even know that he go to that prep school. You know, Kevin is proud that he goes there. Jacob, not so much. When they get to the neighborhood, you know, they got to walk through, and there's some boys that's got an issue with them coming through there with a private school uniform, or at least Kevin with his private school uniform on. Then Jake and the boy get into a confrontation, okay? And it looked like they gonna fight. You know, it's a whole bunch of kids around, and it's just police that's just kind of standing over, sitting like they waiting for something to happen, all right? So the boys was arguing, but then the police was like, hey, is there something going on here? And, you know, they break it up, even though Jacob does give him the finger or whatever. So he's kind of walking off, and the police go up to Jake. I keep calling him Jacob. I'm sorry, y'all. Jake, please goes up to him and was like, show me your ID. He ain't trying to show him the ID. Kevin was just like, just show him the ID. He was like, man, fuck that. I ain't did nothing. So he's trying to walk off, and you know the police ain't fixing to do that. And you got these crowd of people and all. No, we about to show you, teach you a lesson. So, of course, it's a big scuffle. The police end up beating up Jake. Kevin tries to help, and then the police, you know, rough him up, hit him a few times. They on the ground, all of this. Anyway, Jake ends up getting detained or arrested or whatever. They pick him up, put him in the car, and we see that somebody actually videotaped the whole thing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Lord, if everything is going to happen to just this one family, Lena, I mean, I understand. You ain't got that many families to pull from on the show. But let's see. Kevin witnessed the boy get shot. Okay, Kevin accidentally shot Ronnie. His sister was not only kidnapped, but raped repeatedly, and now is pregnant and carrying the rapist child. And now we have Kevin, who's gotten caught up in a police brutality situation. I'm just like, it's just the family has so much trauma. It's a wonder that they can still stand up. I'm so tired of these things happening to them. Like, we can't just have one smooth something. It always got to be to them damn kids. Kids are stressed the fuck out. Like, man. So, anyway, but we got to go with it. So, that's what's going to be the focus. Looks like it's going to be some civil rights and activism, things like that. So, anyway, he's at the Smokies and he's watching the video, or at least Maisha and Papa are watching the video. He was there. He don't need to watch it. They want to post it, and Kevin doesn't want to do that. All right, and I understand why Kevin doesn't want to, because Kevin has been in a lot of shit. Okay, like I said, it's all this trauma, and like he's just trying to live his life, and it's just everything is happening. So this is gonna bring even more attention to it. He don't want them to post it. When he walks out, though, Papa and Maisha looks like they come to the conclusion that they will be posting this video. She says we can get in trouble about this, and he says, yeah, but it'll be good trouble. But Kevin is stressed out about this, okay? Drinking, smoking, look like, you know, he out riding his bike late, just trying to deal with everything. One more thing that Kevin has to deal with. Jumping over to Trigg, he's there with Gemma, and Jake's not home yet, okay? It's getting late. And he gets a phone call, and all he can hear is this Jake's voice, and he's just like, Trigg. And Trigg is like, you know, what's going on? Where are you? What happened? You know, Imani was like, is he okay? And he was like, I don't know. So he's rushing out. Child, they don't know what to think. Now, let's jump over to our girl, Roselynn and Duda, the happy couple. They stopped by. What's our girl's name? I want to call her, is it Nisi? No, Tracy. They stopped by Tracy's. Looks like she is really putting brick and mortar around her foundation, her organization that she has to help families that are dealing with, you know, children that have been through some things, children that have been killed, things like that. And because Duda is the mayor who cares, him and Roselynn, they show up there because they want to figure out how they can help. Now, she is looking at him up and down, looking at Roselynn up and down. You know, she ain't really trying to get that kind of help. She says she ain't trying to sell her soul for nothing. He says, you know what, I'm having an event later on this evening. You know, I really would like for you to show up to it. You know, come on down there and you can see that I'm not the person that you think I am. I was like, oh no, he's way more. All right. So he walks out, and this shit was so funny because it was so Candy-like and not Roselynn-like, but he was walking out and then Roselynn gonna say, you want me to stay and give her the info? Like, you just walking out. It was so random. I don't know why that shit was funny to me. Now, even though she acted like she wasn't gonna go to this event, next thing we see, Tracy, Emma's mama. What's Emma's mama name? Can't think of it right now. And Dre, you know, they are hanging out at this event. They're friends. And, you know, they just kind of laughing about it. You know how girls do when we hang out. And we even see that Emma's mama is still involved with old Mr. Masseuse. He works at this particular restaurant, you know, so when he sees her, you know, he kind of smiles at her. And they was like, oh, who is that? And she was like, that's my masseuse. They was like, oh, do he give happy endings? You bet he does. All right. Anyway, Duda and Roselynn walk in, and Tracy is staring them down, and I was like, oh, maybe I misread the signals and the cues. I thought maybe she despised him, but now it's looking like she hot and heavy for him. So they was like, girl, don't stare the man down. He married. Oh, she said she don't want him. But you can tell it's like, oh, this is something different. I said, we still ain't got over the fact that Tracy got Ronnie killed, okay? And Ronnie gone, Ronnie granny gone. You know, we ain't even talked about him in this episode. I mean, I guess there ain't no reason to. They already buried him last season, so Ronnie gone. Y'all, may he forever rest in peace. I hope the noise outside is not real loud. I didn't do the video in outside because Mr. was cutting the grass. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it in my room. And now he's cutting the grass and he's edging everything outside now, so hopefully it's not too loud in the video. Anyway, well, she's there for Duda, so she might as well get up and walk on over there. So, you know, she walks over, and Duda was like, I'm so glad you made it. You know, have a seat. And Roselynn is sitting over there looking at him. All right. That's your ultimate wingman right there. Because when Doodah gets a phone call and he's like, I'm sorry, I got to take this. Now we just got Roselynn and Tracy at the table. And Roselynn she just called a spade a spade. Girl, you want to fuck my husband? Okay, because she was like, it's all right. I don't mind sharing. Okay, especially if it's going to get Roselynn where she needs to go. And, Tracy is thrown off by the fact that she said that. I was like, girl, you already look like you want to do it to him anyway, so you might as well take her up on her offer. Doodah come back over, and he's like, I'm sorry, I got to go. And Roselynn was like, what you mean you got to go? I got to go. I'm sorry. Y'all handle whatever y'all handling here, and I'll talk to you later. So he rushes out of there. And where is he rushing to? He's rushing to the hospital because Jake is in the hospital, all right, chained to the bed. When Trigg goes in there and sees him and the fact that he's all beat up, he's like, what happened? And he was just like, the police, said that I was resisting arrest and whatever. And Trigg is pissed. Like, do you really fucking have my brother chained to a bed? Like, he's so mad. So Doodah comes in there and was just like, oh my God, what happened? And he's like, it's old, crooked ass cops as usual, beating up on my brother, and Doodah said he gonna handle it. And he was like, I don't need, him to be in here. Why is he in here? And Doodah was like, I can't control the crooked cops. And he was like, you need to be controlling them. You got my brother. Like, he is in here. Like, look, he's chained. So Doodah goes out there and tells the police to unchain him, even though the police don't want to do it. He was like, do you know who I am? All right. If you don't know, you gonna know today. He unchains him. And Trigg is out for blood. Like, he wants to get, oh boy. All right. Whoever did this. And Doodah, like I said that he gonna handle it. Jake is just trying to calm Trigg down, like, Trigg, I'm fine. But Trigg has got blood in his eyes now. Now, jumping back over to Keisha, we see why Keisha was picking out an outfit. It wasn't because she was going to a prom or anything like that, but instead it seems that she is sitting down with a family that wants to adopt her child. Okay, so she's not keeping the baby. She and Nina are sitting across from Tabitha Brown. Good for her. I was like, okay. Even though we already knew that she was going to be on the show, but she's on the very first episode. Okay, then parlayed that thing. Well, she was always an actress. But it was good to see her on there. She didn't have her accent on, so she was able to turn it off, even though I heard a little bit of it every now and then when she spoke. Anyway, they're sitting across from Tabitha and her long-suffering husband. It don't look like they really getting along, even though they are putting on the show for Keisha, trying to get this baby. But Keisha peeps it like, are y'all okay? And they were like, yeah, we okay. And she was like, are y'all on the same page? Because I'm sensing some tension here. And then the facade falls apart because then we find out that maybe things ain't so good. And, Tasha really wants the baby. And everything she says is, I promise I'm going to love this baby. And he was like, me too, kind of getting pushed out of it. So, yeah, we having a problem right here in front of the potential, person that you'll be getting this baby from. So there, she was like, honey, can I talk to you outside for a second? And they go out. And so Nina and Keisha talking, and Nina was just like, are you okay? And she was just like, yeah, I ain't really feeling these two. Yeah, something ain't right here. Look like the old boy might not be getting that baby. When they take it on home, Nina and Dre and Keisha look like they're in a better place than the last time when we saw them last season. They sitting at the table, they shooting the shits and whatnot. Kevin comes in the door and they see him. He kind of look a little disheveled. He look a little off. They like, what's wrong? And he just looks over at him and he says, the police. It's not funny, but the way he said it, it was just like, don, don, don. They like, the police? Like, what happened? So he goes in the room and he's still trying to deal with the fact that he done got beat up by the police. Jake got beat up by the police. Jake got arrested. All this happened. And Nina comes in there and sits next to him and says, do you want to talk about it? I was like, do you want to talk about it? Excuse me? No, that's not do you want to talk about it when you see clearly that your son been beat up and he says the police. No, what the fuck happened? He doesn't really want to talk about it right now. So I guess she's just giving him the space. Oh! Show ass. Get in there. I'm sorry, y'all. That's Louis knocking shit over as usual. Where was I? Shit. Kev doesn't want to talk about it right now. I'm sure Nina will talk to her son about what happened in the very near future. Let the boy try to relax. Like I said, everything happens to Kevin. It is family movie night at Emmett's. Emmett and Tiffany have this thing where they watch a movie, and now they've invited Darnell and Dominique. But at least Emmett didn't invite them, but Tiffany invited. So anyway, they at the house, okay? Darnell comes over and he got his damn VHS tapes. You know, they gonna watch something, he gonna pick out the movie, whatever. Emmett has picked out Soul Food, all right? Tiffany loves this movie. Don't we all know the words, especially to the scene when Vanessa says that the family fucked her husband? All right, so they watching this scene. Emmett is getting increasingly nervous, increasingly stressed, because he already knows how his daddy is. His daddy thinks the whole thing is hilarious. And Tiffany is up there reciting the words. You know, Darnell said he loved this. And Dominique was like, oh, you love this? Like, you know, so Dominique a little uncomfortable. And poor Emmett about to die. And Tiffany is all rah-rah for Vanessa, you know, and Emmett is over there sweating profusely. Darnell was just like, you sweating your ass off. Yeah, Tiffany's gonna find out soon, but whatever. The night seems to go smoothly other than that. And finally, Darnell and Emmett both are knocked out sleep, and it's just Dominique and Tiffany. They sitting up talking, and you know, Tiffany is big up and Dominique like, girl, you were the one that Emmett needed. You know, you made him grow up. You know, you made him do this, that, and the other. Like, I'm so thankful for you. And then Dominique was like, no, girl, you know, it all starts at home. You know, the fact that you guys got married, you know, you made an honest man out of him, like all this. So Dominique is really trying to, I was just like, girl, I don't know how you gonna do this. Dominique says she feels like this whole edible thing might just be the new wave. And it looks like Tiffany and Dominique is gonna get into business together. Is marijuana legal in Chicago? Y'all, my Chicago rock stars, y'all let me know. I feel like it is, but I don't know for a fact. But I mean, it must be, because didn't old boy have a store and all that? Anyway, it looks like Dominique and Tiffany might go into business with this edible thing. Now back at Kevin's, Keisha goes in there and asks him, does he want to talk about it? And he was like, no, he don't want to talk about nothing. And she was like, don't do that. Like, don't be that person. Don't be like me. Don't shut yourself off. Okay, don't say that you don't want to talk to anybody. And Kevin was just like, look, I'm not trying to go to no therapy. I'm not doing that. And she said, you don't have to go to no therapy, but you still need to talk to somebody. Maybe talk to Jake or somebody, you know. She was like, but you can't just be cutting yourself off, and next thing you know, you're going to start blaming yourself. You're going to think that people don't care. You know, you're going to act like you know, maybe you had it coming. Maybe it's your fault, you know, like how I did. And he was like, is that really how you felt? And, you know, she was like, yes. So while they're in there talking, the doorbell rings, and she was like, were you expecting somebody? And he said, no. I said, oh, Lord, the police fixing to come do something. Okay, but it wasn't the police. Instead, it was Tabitha. And Tabitha was like, you know, she coming over with a peace offering. You know, can she talk to Keisha? And she says yes. So they sit down, and she tells Keisha how, yeah, we tried to pull the old wool over your eyes. You know, we actually are separated, but he did come back to try to help me get this baby. I said, girl, if anything, he made shit worse for you. You ain't fixing about to get this baby. Keisha was just like, I mean, I appreciate you coming and telling me that, but I want my child to be raised in a two-person, you know, two-parent household. So, yeah, you won't be getting this baby. And Tabitha says that she understands. Okay, but I'm still wondering if she may end up with the baby. We'll see. I'm sure this won't be the last time we see old sister Tabitha, but right now you ain't getting the baby. Now, next day, Jake's attack is all over the news. Maisha and Papa did post the video. And now it's going to be a whirlwind of activity going on around them. So they go to visit Jake. First, Kev goes to visit Jake. And Jake has always been a bit of an asshole to Kevin. So, you know, he's mad that Kevin didn't do what, you know, what needed to be done. And Kevin was like, what you want me to do? Fight the fucking police? Like, what you want me to do? Like, and he was like, you know, you could have recorded it or something. And he was like, Maisha recorded it. He's mad at Kevin. But what can Kevin do? Then Maisha and Papa come in there, and, you know, they're watching on the phone you know, all the drama that's come around with this video, how many views that it's had on social media and all of that. So Jake is like, damn, look, it's all these hundreds of thousands and millions of people that have watched the video. It's about to be some shit. And Kevin was like, I told you guys not to post that video. Okay, like I said, poor Kevin. This boy done been through a lot. But of course, so has Jake. And the police shouldn't be getting away with beating up a 14, 15-year-old kid. Oh, we also saw at Emmett Mama's house that her and her masseuse look like they might be getting a little bit more serious, you guys. And I'm just like, child, here she go. I mean, just she gets the most random of men. He's coming over, I guess, for his regularly scheduled appointment, and he's dressed. He don't have his table. She was just like, oh, what's going on? And he was like, oh, I want to do something different this time. You know, I want to take you out. So old boy done caught feelings. And she was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess. Yeah, Miss Washington, he really does seem to like her. And she was like, okay, first thing is you're going to have to stop calling me Miss Washington. I guess maybe she's going to be in this relationship with this young fella. And then lastly, you guys, we see Doodah. Doodah goes to Tracy's place. And she's painting this one lonely pole, okay? Giving it so much attention. And Doodah comes in, and the music is all sultry and all of this. And I was just like, well, damn, we already gonna hook up on the first episode? Doodah comes in, and she was just like, oh, you know, so you came on by. And he was like, yeah. And she was like, did you hear about what happened? The police beat up those kids. And he was like, yeah, I heard about that. And she was just like, well, what you gonna do about it? And he was like, I'm gonna handle it. All right. And she was just like, okay, like, that's what's up. So she's still painting this pole. And she looks at him. She says, you kind of overdressed for the occasion. And then he was just like, oh, okay. So he go and unbutton his shirt and take his shirts off. And he was like, I don't mind getting my hands a little dirty. You know, so he get his pot of paint, and he brushing it, she painting the pole, and he painting the pole, and all of this is going on. And I was just like, I mean, are we gonna fuck? Are we gonna kiss? What we gonna do? He look over at her and he say, I'm sorry for what happened to your son. And she's like, thank you. All right. And now they just kind of looking at each other, but nothing happens. And that was the first episode. I mean, I guess I'm just tired of so many terrible things happening to that family. I guess I've said that enough in the video, though. But other than that, I mean, the episode was, I mean, I'm willing. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to give it a chance this season. My brother's over it, though. He was like, garbage. I said it wasn't quite garbage. It wasn't bad. But we'll just see. We're going to give it a chance to breathe, to play out. How'd you guys think about the first episode? All right, you guys, let me get off of here, get dressed, about to go to lunch for my friend's graduate son. Congratulations, Chase. So yeah, I've got to get out of here. Anyway, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is nope. It's only itsrox, and everything else I do should be in the bottom bar. I'm going to update them, you guys. I know. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.